Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. So we're just gonna start this off by saying I added the backdrop because I felt like I was being lazy, but at the same time, your girl was not gonna fucking iron this shit out. So it looks like this, but at least there's a backdrop, right? And I'm gonna be telling you guys a story that's gonna be added to my series on this channel. Well, one of my series on this channel, the Preteen Stories. And in this story today, I'm gonna be telling you about the time that I wanted the guy that everybody else liked. And 10 out of 10 would not recommend it, but I wanted him anyways. So obviously, what does this bitch do if she wants someone? She goes after him. And let's see the drama that caused. So if you want to learn about the drama that it caused to like the guy that everyone likes, which don't ever do that. It's 2021, bitch. We're not fucking doing that. These guys are chasing after us. Period. Let's get into the story. I'm not naked, I swear. But isn't my top so cute? Anyway, this is, like I said, this is the Preteen Stories. And so I met this guy in the 5th grade, but when I met him, he was dating this girl who I later became friends with, and her name in the story will be Becky, and his name will be Troy. Let's call him Troy. So yes, Becky and Troy were dating when I met them in 5th grade, but in 6th grade, we were all in the same class, and they were breaking up when me and her were becoming good friends. And so when they ended up breaking up, everybody was kind of just blown away because it was like, this was like the couple that everyone thought was like good, and like, like they were together for so long, much longer than whenever I even got to the school. They were together before that. So it was like, everyone thought that it was like weird, And so I ended up, becoming good friends with both of them, and I stayed friends with him, obviously, but like, they were in like, it was a war zone because he was so mad at her and no one really knew why. I don't know why. It just seemed like he hated her guts, to be perfectly honest with you. And while I'm friends with her, I'm also friends with him. But I couldn't reconcile them because it was none of my business, them breaking up, And if you guys remember in my first preteen story when I told you that this guy had this girl that like liked him, and I said it was a whole other video, and even though he had a girlfriend, the girl that liked him, I don't know if I gave her a name, but she was sniffing her nose around him, obviously, because now at least he's single while she's doing it. When before she would do it and he wasn't, but now he was, so she was sniffing around him even more. And so it was just difficult on Becky to be dealing with him hating her and him being the boss of like the entire group, and that whole dynamic was a big change for everybody. But eventually they got over it, and me and her became like best friends. And that's not what the story is about. This is the time that I actually started to get a crush on Troy. So like I said, they were broken up, and at this time they were broken up for like a long time at this point. And by a long time, as a kid, when you're in 6th grade, a long time is like a month. So I want to say it was longer than that though. I want to say it was like maybe like 6 months or something like that. And so, it was definitely fair game at this point. Like, she did not really like him anymore, and they were like friends, And at this point in time too, he never like dated anybody. So he was pretty much just single, and no one really like, it was like everyone liked him and like flirted with him, and you knew who liked who, but like he never ended up dating the girl that was like obsessed with him, and he didn't date anybody really. I ended up developing like kind of like a crush on him, when you're like a thirsty little bitch. Anyways, so I ended up developing like a crush on him, and it was like a small crush. It wasn't a crush that I took very seriously. By seriously, I mean a crush that I would talk to like my friends about and be like, oh my god, like, no, it wasn't like that. It was a crush where I was like, okay, this is obtainable, kind of, sort of, even though like every little bitch liked him. But it was also like a crush where I was like, okay, this is like fun. I like him, and like he flirts with everybody type of thing. But at the same time, like, obviously, like, why wouldn't he like me? So I remember at this point in time in school, everybody was getting with everybody. Like, everyone was getting a boyfriend and everyone was getting a girlfriend. And our group was becoming up a lot because sometimes, like, people in the group would be like, okay, I'm dating so-and-so now and we're going to go and do our own thing. Whereas, like, before, you know, when people were mostly, like, single, it was like, okay, there was a group of, like, 8 of us and everyone was just playing together. Now it was like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna go play with my boyfriend now and it's gonna be like a group of 3 of us, or like there's like everyone's dating everyone. And so I remember there was like this guy in my class. I want to say his real name because it's not about, the story's not about him, but Bobby. I don't know if I used that name before, but whatever, we're gonna call him Bobby. And Bobby was the hottest guy in our grade. If you were ever to be like, okay, rate the hottest guys in our class, rate the hottest girls in our class, every girl was gonna say Bobby. Like, it was just Bobby. Anyways, so me mentioning this, there's a point, I promise. Anyways, we ended up getting a girlfriend, and when I tell you, like, everyone was flabbergasted at this, it was like, how could I miss my shot? Like, damn. Like, baby hearts were, like, breaking at the fact that Bobby got a girlfriend. He started dating this girl that was in a different class than us, and no one really, like, I feel like everyone, like, hated her because she, like, got the super unobtainable. So it just so happened that Troy and Bobby were like really good friends. They didn't really hang out that much, but like they're really good friends. And so when Bobby got a girlfriend, I think everyone just went like into crazy mode and was like, okay, we need to get a girlfriend, to get a boyfriend, we need to whatever. Bobby got a girlfriend. Not that I would ever date him or I could ever get him. I knew I couldn't get him at that point, girl. But when he started dating a girlfriend and everyone was kind of like in this crush mode, I was like, okay, so my flirting game went up when it was like, okay, everyone's trying to get a girlfriend now because Bobby has a girlfriend. So my flirting game with Troy went up even more, and I would always like make sure like we were doing things. Like, I don't know if it was like normal for this to happen, but like I've always been like a super touchy, like feely type of person, in the sense of like, oh, like, bye, and then I would give like my friends a hug, guy, girl, like, hi, give my friends a hug, guy, girl, you know, whatever. And so it was just, and like I'd hold hands with my, if I could speak, I'd hold hands with my friends, guy, girls, and like it'd be like the like romantic way, you know, but not that big of a deal. And I started doing it with him more because I was like, I just feel like I'm so single and I'm so single right now, and you know, Troy's cute. Everyone wants Troy, and I'm just gonna be like pretending and feeling like I'm not super single if I'm gonna be holding hands with him, or like I'm gonna be sitting in his lap and stuff like that at recess, because every mother had somebody but me. So I started to become more touchy-feely with Troy, and he was about it, you know, he was about that life. And it just so happened that the girl that was obsessed with him, we're gonna call her Trina in this video. Just so happened that Trina wasn't really down with that, and me and Trina started to have a little bit of like tension between us because I was treading on her territory, and I really didn't care. It was to the point where it's like we would say like, snide things to each other, like everyone would catch it, but like I was like, you had to read between the lines to find the insult in it, but like we knew that we were doing it to each other type thing. Long story short, with me and Troy, it was kind of just like, you know, we stuck with that. But then I was like, we were in 6th grade, so like after a week, everyone was breaking up, and then I was just like, okay, thanks for letting me use you, Troy. Cool. And then me and Trina, like Trina to begin with, to be honest with you, so I didn't really care. I didn't try and run things with her at all. And it was cool because Becky did not care that I was, you know, at that point, like, kind of, like, flirting with her man, because that was her ex, and she didn't really care about him at that point. And the thing that's so sad about this is that the thing that's really sad about this is the fact that me and Troy were actually really, really good friends for, like, a long time. And even after, like, this whole, like, big, like, flirtation thing of me like liking him and everyone else kind of like liked him, and he was just the leader of all these bitches and stuff like that, it was just like kind of sad because moving away, and you know, like completely like dead. Like, but he was like a really, really good friend that I kind of wish like I tried harder to keep in touch with, but at the same time, like, whatever, you know. Anyways, I know that's completely not what you guys thought that the story was gonna be, because it's like the 6th grade and I just am not that much of a dramatic hoe. So anyways, guys, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever just used somebody because it was like, oh, like everyone's getting into relationships, so like let me just amp up this like relationship just to make sure that I don't feel like I'm 100% single. I'd rather feel like I'm like 80% single instead of 100, you know, when everyone else is dating somebody. That probably happens a lot around like Valentine's Day. But anyways, that's it for this story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Thursday.
Let you stay tonight. I just checked into my hotel, trying to catch you like a model, and I'm trying to see you.